Good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Topic UFO. Tonight, we're going to be speaking with a director, a producer, and consultant who have a new internet television program that's going to be coming out entitled Disclosure Leaks. And I'm sure the word disclosure just makes everybody's mouth drool out there. So I'm sure this will be an interesting conversation. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Director Christian Johnston. How are you, Christian?
I'm well. Thanks for having us online.
No problem. And producer Rick Hack.
Hey there, Rick. Nice name.
Yes. Let's hopefully we won't confuse people because there will be two Ricks. And then the consultant in the group will be Charles Bender. Greetings, Charles.
Hello. Thanks, Rick.
Well, listen, guys, this TV show or this program that you guys are putting together called Disclosure Leaks, before we jump into it, I was wondering if you guys could just tell us a little bit about your background, I guess, entertainment-wise. Christian, could you kick us off?
Basically, I come out of a documentary production and traveling the world. And my first movie, I had an opportunity to shoot a hybrid documentary inside of Afghanistan 6 months after 9/11 about a New York journalist on the trail of Osama bin Laden. In the process, I met a lot of very interesting people in high-level government positions just from our process of putting the movie together and using a lot of actual Northern Alliance mujahideen. And like I said, got access to private military corporation, CIA. And over the course of putting that movie into theaters called September Tapes, I continued to meet interesting people traveling the world, as well as being in Prague and Star City in Russia and working with Sulkovsky's grandson and starting to find out a lot about the Russian disclosure opportunities there and a lot of information for sale. And I think every project that I'd worked on traveling, I had met more and more interesting people and felt like in the eve of disclosure and files about UFO and sightings and unexplained phenomenon, it was now time to do a television program that would sort of showcase my experience in meeting a lot of these people and allow us to do a show that would kind of encapsulate a lot of people that didn't have to be named as resources, and we could put together a resource of information for everybody to see.
Wow. You know, it always fascinates me that people such as yourself, documentary filmmakers, would travel to Afghanistan right after 9/11. That must have been one hell of an experience.
What I found in going to some of these places and inside of Tibet during the Beijing Olympics, and I was shooting a project in Lebanon and Sierra Leone, and meeting international correspondents from places like Newsweek and other big publications, was that if you kind of show up, all of a sudden you're on a level where you can have a cocktail at midnight, and a lot of people will say a lot of things they may not normally say. And that allows for us to hopefully protect their identity and whatnot. But we've come across a lot of very interesting stories of phenomenon and contacts that we're going to be able to utilize for this new documentary investigative TV series.
Wow. So this will really be, for almost firsthand information, I guess you would say.
Looking at it on a worldwide scale as well. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing stuff. So let's move on to the producer of this program, Rick Hack. Rick, tell us a little bit about yourself, would you?
Of course, my life isn't as world-traveled as Christian Johnston's, but I do have a background in media, entertainment, and to some extent documentary work. And so I met Christian about 3 years ago. At the time I was finishing up my stint as head of entertainment for CBS and also the radio division. And then I went on to work for Michael Bay's Transmedia company. And in the meantime, we worked on several projects together, including a Russian space station project. That's where we really started finding out, like Christian was mentioning, a lot of these sources as we went along the way, and piecing these projects together. So between his sources and mine, and now working with researchers and consultants along the way, folks like Charles, also like Steve Bassett, we've been able to source out some of these folks as well as journalists, to really come up with authentic stories, and that's really why we wanted to bring this project to life.
I had Steve Bassett on the show a couple of months ago, and that guy is a wealth of information, is he not?
if you ever get a word in.
I didn't say that.
No, he's
I
an amazing
didn't
guy.
say that.
I know.
You said that.
We love the guy. He's on that project, he has a wealth of information, and we are very excited to have him on board.
Yeah, he is. He's a very inspired about his topic. Absolutely. Well, thanks, Rick. And then the consultant out of the group is Charles Bender. Charles, you want to give us a briefing of what your background is about?
Sure. I've been working in ufology and also the motion pictures for many, many years now. In terms of Hollywood, I was co-producer on Solaris. I don't know if you've seen that motion picture, 2002.
Yeah.
With George Clooney and directed by Steven Soderbergh, produced by Jim Cameron.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, what kind of role did you play in that? You were.
Well, that's I don't know if you know that Andrei Tarkovsky, the Russians, had originally created that film in late 60s. It was actually 72 is when it came out, but they'd started in late 60s on that, and it was the Soviet Union's response to 2001, and I had gotten together all the rights to remake that, and that this is the Hollywood version in 2002.
Wow, very interesting. All right, well, hey, thanks, guys, for giving us a background on yourselves there. So out of all of the topics that a documentary filmmaker could do a film on, why disclosure?
Yeah, I mean, disclosure, the idea is that we really, when we went about this project, we felt that there's, with WikiLeaks and everything that was coming out about and the source and the need for information, we really felt like this is a topic that needed to be covered, and I think that people are waiting for. And everything that's been covered in the past that's been done on network television has been done in a way that has been more sensationalized, and has been done in a way that it doesn't really feel as authentic, or I should say feel authentic. I don't know if it is authentic. So we're really not bound or tethered to any type of network in the sense. We can really utilize the sources that we know that are that to the best of our knowledge have that are true. And so we wanted to disclose what information is available and go through this mobcaster source where we can have research, we can have we can come about, we can have other people involved from a community standpoint than just from just from actual other resources like the experts in the field. So we wanted it to be from the ground up, and we also wanted it to be authentic in the way we presented the program.
Excellent.
We truly feel that we have several critical pieces of information on the outset that nobody's seen before, and I guess you'll have to wait and see for our reveal what we're going to share and what we're going to disclose.
Now, what is the plan for release? Is there any confirmed dates yet, or is that still up in the air? Or?
We have a soft date of September, mid-September.
Okay.
And we can share with your listening audience and with you as soon as we solidify that date. In fact, this week we're supposed to meet again with our distributor and to see how our online distributor and see how when we're expecting the first episode and when our premiere is going to be, and also line it up with our production resources. So we believe it's going to be mid-September.
Great.
Well, also, this is Christian chiming in again. I was going to mention that we'll also be looking to reach back to you and giving you and your users your listeners some updates on what we're up to and giving you sneak peeks of 1 and 2 minute trailers and teasers of what we have coming up. So we'll be doing that sooner than that as well.
Oh, that'll be very good. Now, I understand that the first episode is going to be focused on the sighting by the Mexico Air Force pilots, correct?
Exactly. And Charles, on that a little bit with our plan of attack. It's very interesting, UFO flap that happened in Mexico, and with the confirmed, Mexican Air Force sightings, there's a lot of wealth of information to pull into our first program for that.
Yes, so certainly with that incident, we have the military has recently come forward, essentially saying that they themselves are unsure about what exactly they were seeing and witnessing. And we've been able to track down some of those folks firsthand, which we'll be talking to. I'm sure you're aware, too, of Jaime Maussan and his work in not only Mexico but Central America, and outstanding job he's done. So we also hope to talk with Jaime further on this subject, and we'll be revealing some new information there.
So, and that will be great because Jaime is, the king of UFOs in Mexico. That's for sure. Regarding the actual sighting, correct me if I'm wrong. This is where they were doing some maneuvers. They were utilizing infrared or FLIR type cameras and caught these objects.
Yes, exactly. Caught the objects and trailing the aircraft and staying information with them and essentially flying along for quite some time. So
now, when you guys were working on this, did you hear the theory that I forget who put it out there, was trying to say that what the pilots saw was an oil refinery deck out in the ocean or something?
We've heard, lots of various stories of trying to disprove exactly what they're seeing, but the information we have is with that infrared footage and the way it is trailing the aircraft. There's no type of oil platform that would do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I looked at the video myself, and I didn't buy off on it either. So,
right.
What do you guys think personally about disclosure? Do you think it'll actually ever happen here in the United States, or will it happen in another country first? What's your personal thoughts?
I think it's going to happen internationally, and then I think the U.S. is going to be pressured into opening the floodgates, so to speak, in that regard. Are you familiar with Richard Dolan and his work with AD after disclosure?
Yes.
Yeah, that's he's done some wonderful work there, and I think he's absolutely correct about the ramifications and the suppressions that we've had in the past. But I think there will be the proverbial floodgates opening up here.
Thanks so much, guys. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we'll be supporting and looking forward to it.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Because there will be two Ricks. And then the consultant in the group will be Charles Bender. Greetings, Charles.
Hello. Thanks, Rick.
Well, listen, guys, this TV show or this program that you guys are putting together called Disclosure. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Topic UFO. Tonight, we're going to be speaking with a director, a producer, and consultant. This time I'd like to introduce Director Christian Johnston. How are you, Christian?
I'm well. Thanks for having us online.
No problem. And producer Rick Hack.
Hey there, Rick. Nice name.
Yes. Let's hopefully we won't confuse people. Who have a new internet television program that's going to be coming out entitled Disclosure Leaks. And I'm sure the word disclosure just makes everybody's mouth drool out there. So I'm sure this will be an interesting conversation. So at this